Hi, I'm Ken. Just like you, I am a modern astronomer. Last night, I took about 600 images of Bodes and Cigar together. I used my Celestron 8-inch SCT with a Hyperstar, and I used an ASI 2600 camera, 30-second images. So let's go ahead and process them in Pixinsight, and let's see what we end up with. So, let's start with weighted batch balance. So what the weighted does is the weighted WPBB is what most people call it. It will align all our images, integrate them, put a really nice job. I do not have a bias with an ASI 2600. You do not need darks. I am going to use my one and only flat. Whenever you come to it, whatever the last thing you hit was here, it's there. So let's go ahead and hit lights. I'm going to go to that folder where SharpCap put them. Control A to get them all. And again, I think there's 609 of them. Hit open. All right, so I typed in where I want them to go, but you need to create that folder first before you do it. So the easiest thing to do is just come here. I always save everything in my C SharpCap folder. I do that because I back all that up. That way I don't fill my hard drive and I get to keep all my stuff. So let's create a new folder. Call it Bodes Cigar. Hit select. So now it's going to go to that. And let's just go ahead and hit run and see what we got. This is probably going to take a half hour or so. So I'm going to pause the video and I'll come back when it's done. All right, we're back. That took 37 minutes and 54 seconds. Okay, so a little longer than I thought it would take, but considering there's 600 images, that's pretty good. How fast this takes has a lot to do with the power in your computer. My computer is an i9 with 64 gigs of RAM. So I did this because I had done one image that was, I think, 730-second images, and it took forever. I mean, like 18 hours. So if you look, so we knew there was, what did we say, I don't remember what there was, 609 to start with. 8 of them were rejected, so there was something wrong with 8 of them. Now, I did not look. Normally, I look at blank and take a look at the images, but I didn't bother looking. So we ended up with 601 images to make what we're about to look at. All right, so let's take a look. Yeah, let's clear our memory. All right, so let's take a look, see what we have. SharpCap, remember I called it Bodes Cigar. So when you come in here, you have a debayed, a logs, a master, and a registered. These right here are all created by Pixinsight just to create your image. You will never use them. So I usually delete them. All right, and all I care about is what's in master. And then we're going to click on master light, okay? So master light, it always gives you 3 images the first time you open it. The low rejection. Whoops, that was the high rejection. This is the low rejection. So we had some skewing, but it handled it. So I have process icons over here that I use. You can get to any one of these. The easiest way to get to anything is to click on process all processes, unless you want to go through all these and start to learn which ones are there. That's not even the only way. You can come over here to Process Explorer and search that way as well. So I have my process. You need to figure out your process, but my process works for me. Hopefully it works for you. I watched a couple different guys' processes when I was learning Pixinsight, and I was writing down the steps. Some of them did stuff that didn't matter, and others did stuff that mattered. Everyone, the first thing you do is you're either going to click on the nuke button up here or open up STF and click on that nuke button. Once you do that, you kind of see what your image is going to look like. So we have some red, but don't worry, we're going to fix that. And by the way, I was wondering if when I cut it up, so an ASI 2600 is a 26 megapixel camera. I cut the picture in half, I cut the ROI in half so that I could get more depth because they would have been a lot smaller. And I could have, just did it around there and they would have been all that was in the image. All right, so let's do what I normally do. So my next step, so this right here is one of the ones that I learned from somebody. I've never used it. Every time I try to use it, I have some kind of issue. So eventually I'm just going to take it off of my process. I never crop anymore. I used to crop. Now I don't bother. All right, but I always open up automatic background extractor. I leave it on the default settings. Well, actually, it's not. I make sure I'm on subtraction and before I put it over there. So subtraction, discard the background model, and replace the target image. So I always do that. So let's drag that on. Okay, we got rid of the red. Okay, we're getting an image now. Okay, then the next thing I usually do is background neutralization. Background neutralization, always you have to select the image that you're on. So we're on that one. So that's the name. Let's do that. All right. So now we are ready for the next step. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. Okay. So you have two choices here. You can, if you have Easy Processing Suite, you can come up to Easy Processing Suite and you can do Easy Soft Stretch. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that and see the way this is going to look. Okay, so that did it that way. Okay, let's duplicate that. Let's take this one. Let's go back. So there's another one that is called Arc Sign, spelled very oddly, Stretch. Okay. All right, I always do those two. Okay, and then I do the estimate. Okay, so the estimate background, that went and moved that black point to that. Because I have highlighted values that are clipped to 0, it highlighted all that. So they're going to turn to pure black. All right, so now I'm going to manually stretch it to see what I see. So there's a full stretch. So see that right in there, I don't really care for. So I'm going to stretch it just so that's just barely there. And we're getting the max out of that. Okay, hit the square, create your new image, close this. So a lot of times I do just what I did where I'll do one and one and one and the other. So the question is, which image is really going to turn out better? As you see, we got a little blurriness in here. We probably had a little bit of movement, but we can fix that. I'm not worried. So I like this one better because I've learned that the blacker it is, the easier it is to work with. But I might do both of them tonight. So let's get rid of you for a little bit. We'll come back to you. All right, so Pixinsight is, I don't even remember how much I paid for it, but it is well worth its money. I think $149, somewhere in that range. I forgot, but it's well worth it. There's several add-ons. Easy Processing Suite is free. Highly recommend getting it. StarNet is free. Highly recommend getting it. You pay for Star X Terminator. That's Russell Crowe or something like that. But if you just Google Star X Terminator, you pay for Blur Exterminator, also from the same company that makes that, and you pay for Noise Terminator. I love these. They were well worth the money. Blur Terminator instructions tell you to do it now. So it's pretty much one of the first things you do. It has AI that comes with it. When you make a process icon out of it and you create the process icon with AI selected, it'll always be there. But if you come up here to processes, all processes, and then go to it, there, you'll have to always select the AI. So another reason why the process icons are best. Everything else I leave on default. Let's drag that over and see how long this takes. If it's going to take a while, I will pause the video. All right. So that took about a minute to do. That looks pretty good. Just for fun, let's do the same things on this one. So we already did that, right? Yeah, so let's just do this on that. Okay, that took about a minute as well. All right, now clean it. Ooh, that looks good. I might be making my image out of both of these, which I've done before, and they really come out nice when you do that. So the next thing I'm going to do is run Noise Exterminator. Again, AI, if you open it through the processes and go to all processes to rc-astro Noise Exterminator, you'll have to select the AI. If you want to see what it's going to look like, you can do a real-time preview. I don't bother. So let's run it on both of them. Okay, let's run on this one. Okay, looks good. Okay, so both are looking good. You know, because I didn't stretch this one as much, you don't see the white there because this one got stretched more. You see all the light right in there. But we will be fixing that. So the next thing to do now is to separate your stars from your image. You have two options. If you pay, this is the paid option. This one is the free option. The difference is the free option uses version 1 of a certain DLL, and the other one uses version 2 of that DLL. When you install Pixinsight, it has version 2 with it, and you have to change that DLL to work with StarNet. Okay, so you decide what you want to do. I have it working with both. Matter of fact, I will show you both and show you the difference as well. So we'll run that one on this one. Again, this will take about a minute or so. Okay, there's our stars for this one. So I'm going to rename these now so I know which is which. StarNet 2. Matter of fact, let's even do one step further. Stars. It doesn't like the hyphen. Alright, so there's StarNet 2 stars. We're going to call this one StarNet 2 image. Okay, let's minimize you. Alright, now let's do the same thing to this, but with Star Terminator. Again, my AI starts like this one. I can bother to drag this one. Alright, so now this one's done. There's our stars for this one. Let's call this one Star X stars. There's you. And see, this one kept some of those stars in there. And we're going to call this star X image. All right, so now we have two images that should be starless. This one's more starless, but this one has all that stuff we have to clean up. Going to be hard to clean that up. I'm not lying, but we can do it. This one, all these stars are in there, but a lot less cleanup to do. And either way, we actually have three totally different galaxies. I like that. All right, so let's take this one first. We are going to now go to range, screening, mask. That's what I call that when I made that process icon. Okay, it is the same thing as if you go to processes, mask generation, and go to range selection. Okay, there's a couple different options here. Okay, option one is screening. Okay, screening is just going to make an exact duplicate of what you see on the screen. And when it's on, that's by itself screening. Okay, when it's on screening and lightness, it is exact of it, but it's more about the lightness than it is about it's the depth of the lightness, not the colors of the lightness. Okay, and that where this is just the colors and the depth. And if you just have this one on, it'll just be the lightness. So let's see what the three of them look like. So we're going to do a preview. Okay, we're on the darker image, by the way. When we do screening, see, it looks just like the image, right? When we do lightness on it, see, it turns it black and white, but we still see the lightness, or what the image looks like. When we just do lightness, we have to go zero it in. So this is where you can get rid of, see, I can get rid of that practically, but the problem is you kind of lose that as well. But then you play with some of this stuff and you can hone in right in on it. I see there, so I could do the lightness with that. I'm still going to have that, but there's a secret you can do with that, and that's called the cloning stamp. So that got me the galaxies looking pretty good, but I got that lightness there that I don't want. So I'm going to show you a trick, although I don't know if I'm going to use this. A lot of times this is trial and error at this point till you get what you're exactly looking for. But here, let me show you what I'm talking about on this trick. So this is our mask. There's this tool up here. If you go to painting, clone stamp, okay, it opens this up. Always have to hit the X, okay. Radius I have on 100. That's a pretty big radius. Softness I have fairly soft. I'm going to make it so it's more there, and I'm going to get rid of some of that like that. So now I'm just going to get rid of that. I'm going to press the control key on the keyboard. I'm going to click right about there, let go of the control key, and then just hold the mouse down. All right, so see, that got rid of it. Now, some of the softness and the opacity, you could go get rid of that line as well. Now, when you're done, if you're happy with it, you hit that checkbox, and that mask is done. So we are going to call this lightness mask. I'm going to make it a 1, just in case I end up having to do 2 of them. Okay, I like to drag my mask down to the bottom, and have my images on top. You decide what you want to do. All right, let's get rid of you. Let's get rid of you. Let's go to screening. Now screening, get rid of lightness. See, I really don't have that in there with the screening. Okay, so I'm going to make the screening one on this image. All right, so why do I feel like I'm on lightness? I feel like I'm on lightness, that it's usually it's an exact duplicate of what you see. Oh, that is because I'm on light mask 1. I'm not on the one that I want to be on. Aha, see? You got to pay attention. And it's good to make mistakes when you are learning. It's good to make mistakes when you're good, because that's what you learn from. So this, we want to do StarNet to, no, we want to do StarX image. There we go. Now I'm happy. Okay, hit the box. Get rid of that preview. Okay, when you have a mask, you go to that part of the mask, hold down your mouse, drag it over to any of this gray part on the box, and let go. And now that mask is on there. You need to keep the mask. You can't delete it because else it doesn't work. All right, so now so that you can see what's going on, you have these icons up here. This one gets rid of the mask totally. This one will invert it. Excuse me. This one shuts it off, enables or disables it. And this one hides it, the red part. So the mask is there doing what it's supposed to be masking. All right, so now there's guys that are going to show you with this to use the histogram. I'm a curves guy. I like using the curves. So again, I'm going to click on the round one, get a preview. Okay, let's bump up the colors. Look at that coming out. That looks good. Okay, let's bump up our lightness a little bit. And always bump up your saturation. Now, I am colorblind. So what I see might not be what you see. So I thought I had this open, but I do not. All right, it is called, it's under accessibility. It's called color filters. I have it on for the red-green. I am red-green colorblind, but I also, I'm more green weak than I am red weak. But I also go back and forth so that I can look at my image to see the differences. So that's red weak and that's green weak. So I am happy with that. All right, so I'm going to make that one shot. Okay, I'm going to close this now. And that does not look too bad at all. That's just one touch up to this image so far. Now let's touch up this other one. Now, we want to get rid of this, right? We already have a mask that will do it. We got this mask here that will get rid of that one. So there's another advantage of doing two images like I did, because now what I'm going to do is put this mask on. I'm going to hide it like I showed you. This time I'm going to invert it. Okay, so I clicked on invert. We're going to open up a preview. Okay, so we're looking at the StarNet 2 image like we should be. I'm going to go to lightness first, and I'm going to darken it up. Look at that. Boom. Get you back to normal. All right, let's take that mask off of that. And that is this icon up here. Remove mask. Let's go to this. Wrong mask. Wrong mask. Let's go to this mask. No, they're both the wrong mask. Let's make a mask for this one. So I'm going to go to my range mask. Everything back to normal. Put it on there. Go there. I'm happy with that mask. I'm going to create it. Okay, close. Again, we're going to slide this right over to that. You do not have to minimize stuff. I like minimizing it so I know exactly which one I'm looking at. Okay, let's create a preview. And let's bump up the colors. Let's bump up the lightness. Not a lot of lightness needed. And let's bump up the saturation. Now again, this is a lot of trial and error. You have to play around with it, see what you got. Okay, I could definitely use some more color in that. Don't you agree? Definitely no color at all is coming through, but this one is. So remember I said, I get a feeling I'm going to do both of them. I got a feeling I'm going to do both of them. And I find it interesting that this happens too, because technically they're both RGB. Where's our color on this one? So let's put this mask back on, or did I leave it on? So the mask is still on. And you can always click on that to find out. And let's do another preview. First add saturation, because that'll add the yellow to it. And let's add some RGB. Now, because you probably are not colorblind, you can play with the actual colors. I cannot. I have to use RGB and just do it all equal and hope for the best. We have a little yellow there, but I'm kind of losing my swirling, and I don't like that. So let's just look at our image. All right, I'm going to stick with that, just so I can close up and show you the last piece. Now, you can play for another 30 minutes, hour, 4 hours, whatever you decide. I like to work on an image 1 hour. That's it. After 1 hour, I should be happy with what I got. If I'm not, then oh well. I probably didn't take enough of the image. All right, so this is our StarNet 2 stars. And this is our, oh, by the way, that was what I was working on last night. I thought I closed that. So that's the California Nebula. But we want to compare stars. So now look at our stars. Look at the difference. This was the stars that came from Star X Terminator. This is the stars from StarNet 2. In my opinion, these look better, but when you use PixMath, which will be the next thing we're going to do, they're really not going to be bright enough. They'll actually be too. So let's, instead of making another star mask, which is what I normally would do, normally I would go up to processes, go to mask, and I would mask generation, and I would go make a star mask. But I have a star mask, so why make one? So let's get rid of the red. Okay, so we have the mask on that. All right, so this one, we're going to first bump up some lightness. And then we are going to add some color to it. And we're going to add some saturation to it. All right, so our stars look a little better. Let's get rid of this one. I'm going to make it a little brighter. One more. All right, I think that'll do it. Okay, let's get rid of that mask now. Okay, so we're going to make our image now out of star X stars, star X image. And notice if I hold them over it, you can kind of see what it's going to look like. And I am also going to add this one, but we don't want this one to take over. Okay, we want it to be not quite as strong because it's going to add lightness to it for us. So now we're going to open up Pixmath. Okay, so again, I have a process icon, but you can go to processes. Easiest thing always, well, it's down here under Pixmath, or you can just go here to all processes and go to Pixmath. I like to click on Expression Builder. Okay, so I tend to put my stars first. So remember, we're going to use star X stars. So there's first. We're going to do a plus sign. Okay. I am now going to take my other image, which was called StarNet image. Okay. Another plus sign. And then I'm going to do star X image. Okay. I'm going to hit OK. This is not going to look good, okay? Just letting you know right away. But let's see what it looks like. Okay, see what I mean? That does not look good at all. But here's what we're going to do. Let's get rid of it. We're going to go to that plus sign. We're going to put a brackets around it. Okay, so now we're just going to work on that. We're going to do 0.3 and shift 8. So we're going to do 0.3 times that. So it's only going to be 3/10 of its norm of its strength. Okay, let's see what that does. Not bad. Not bad at all. So we could play with this a couple times and see if we can get rid of some of the blurriness that I see in here. But all in all, not too bad. So let's change this. Let's keep that one. And let's change this to do the same thing here. We're going to put there, we're going to do 0.8 times, close that bracket, and let's hit expression, or let's hit run. All right, which one do you like better? So you can play with a couple of the maths. That's the cool part. And what the maths do is how much of a percentage of the image you're putting in. So we're at 100% of the stars. And I might have made the stars too bright, but personally, I like stars. That's what's out there. There's a lot of guys that'll make their stars tiny little nothings, which actually I'm going to show you how to do. And then I think I like that one better. So now let's fix our stars. Okay, so there's our stars. Now we made our stars brighter, but let's clean them up a little. Now there's two ways of doing this. Way one is through Easy Processing Suite and Star Reduction. Let's click that. Don't worry, click Continue anyways. And this will do its thing. And what it does is it makes the stars crisper. There's another tool that's built in to Pixinsight that does the same thing. All right, so see, it made the stars a little crisper. Okay, so let's duplicate that and let's call this one stars 1. Good enough. Okay, and let's take this one and undo what we did. Let's put the brightness back in. Okay, there's our brightness is back. All right, so now with this one, I have found this other tool that is called Star Morphological Transformation. Same thing, you just go up here and look for star. It is someplace around here. No, I don't see it. If you cannot find something, you can always click over here and find it. This is one that I found on a video I watched. So see, it's on erosion. I made that pattern to make all my stars look like that. So let's see that. Did it do anything? I don't think so. That time I know it did. Which stars do you like better? You decide. It's your image. I like this one better, the one that came from StarNet. So now I am going to change star X stars to star 1, STARS 1. All right, now let's make our image. There we go. Oops. I meant to click on the plus. So what do you think? I think we've been about 40 minutes is how long this video took. I'm going to clean it up a little bit. So you've been watching this for a little bit. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you learned something from it. Pixinsight is a great tool. I cannot tell you how much I enjoy Pixinsight. I am happy with this. I'm not the kind of person that is putting stuff out there to be the best thing on the internet. I'm doing this because I enjoy doing it. I like what I took a picture of. I tend to make it look by what I saw, not by what other people say is perfect. If I had more integration, I probably could have had that line darker. I mean, so those are the things you're looking for, what you can do when you're taking the image, not what you can do in processing. Processing is really just about cleaning up stuff like this, which I really should clean that up a little, get rid of some of that. And I probably will before I go put this on the internet, but this is simple. How you do it, have fun with it. Do not get frustrated. Calm down. When some nights you go try to take a picture, you can't get it. Just give up that night. Don't push yourself to get pissed off. Just relax. This is your fun hobby. This is getting you away from the work. Don't make this work and make this enjoyable. So when you have it not work right, just say, okay, that isn't going to work tonight. Let's go find another object to shoot. There's trillions and trillions of stars out there. So or as Carl Sagan used to say, billions and billions. There's so many stars out there. There's so many galaxies. You might not be able to get one tonight. Full moon's going to affect you. Clouds are going to affect you. People driving by with their car, your neighbor's outside lights are going to affect you. Don't let it bother you. Get the best you can. Thanks, guys. Let's all be great modern astronomers.